So this is part 2 of the video comparing the Model X with the Model S. I'm just going to focus on the differences for people who own a Model S and are considering a Model X. My Model S was one of the very first ones, so some of the differences I point out may actually be incorporated in the Model S now, but I did not have them on my car. So physically, the one significant difference between the X and the S is this center console up here, which has 2 storage locations. You can slide this open, and there are actually removable dividers in this storage bin that allow you to adjust it so that you can get big coffee cups or things like that into it. Pretty much have complete flexibility. To close that, you push down on it and it closes itself. And then there's another storage compartment here you push down to open, and this has your USB charging hookups and a conventional 12-volt hookup as well. And then in the back seat there's air conditioning. The air conditioning in this car seems to work much better than in my Model S. Other than that, the dashboard is substantially similar. The only differences to the layout over here are because of the autopilot feature that I did not have on mine. And the main touchscreen works pretty much the same way, the way that you can select what goes onto each section of the touchscreen. So I'm not going to cover those because they're covered in other videos, but we'll dig down and look at some of the differences here. So the first thing we notice is when we pull up controls, we get door controls, and we have control of the gullwing doors to open them halfway or all the way, and we have controls to open and close the driver and the passenger doors. Similar controls for the lighting and how the lights, both inside, the dome lights, individual map lights is a nice new feature, and the way that the headlights act automatically and whether the fog lights come on with the headlights. We have similar controls for the suspension. It can remember spots where there's low clearance and automatically raise the car up. It'll just automatically remember places where you did that and repeat it when you go to the same spot, which my Model S did as well. Similar driving controls. This car has essentially the same performance as a Model S, even though it's an SUV. Same drivetrain, same acceleration, 3.8 seconds to 60 miles per hour. Same trip odometers, same settings for how the displays work, same settings as how the parking brake works. If we look at the settings screens, we have the apps controls, which is similar to the Model S. Different driver profiles we can set up for different drivers. We have unit settings that is the same, vehicle information. So there's some differences here between this car and my Model S because there's more elaborate controls as to how the gullwing doors open. For example, we can make them just open halfway. If you have kids and are picking them up, that might be convenient to have that. And then the walk-away door lock, unlock approaching the car, and so on. One thing that I tried but doesn't seem to work all that great yet, maybe they'll work on it, is that there's a driver door unlock mode where you approach the car and it unlocks and opens the driver's door, and that seemed to be cycling when I was near the car in my garage, and the door would open, then the door would close, the door would open, the door would close. So I'll experiment with that a little bit more later on. The car has an alarm that I've been promised won't ever go off unless somebody's really trying to jimmy the door open. All the rest of these settings are pretty much similar, I think, to the way that the Model S worked. One of the big differences for me is the autopilot stuff, and I in fact used it to get to work today. It's amazing how it follows the car in front of you, controls the distance, the acceleration and braking is great. It dealt with stop signs and stop lights and so on just fine. It knows the difference between a car and a truck in front of you and displays it on the display in the left-hand console when you're driving. You can set the speed limit warning to be audible or just visual, and as you're driving it displays the speed limit signs right next to the road. It gets those from its camera, which it reads as it passes them. And just the utility features on the service and reset, which I used when I traded my old car in to wipe out nearly all the settings that were in the old car, so you can quickly erase your location information for automatically opening and closing the garage door when you go in and out of your garage, and so on. And then, of course, the last big difference between the Model S and the Model X is actually above you, and it's this enormous window. I've seen it on a few videos, and the videos just don't really do it justice. But when you're sitting in here, you don't really feel like you're in a car. It's kind of like you're in the observation dome of a train or something, because there's nothing in the way. And the sun blocking is great, so that even when you're in direct sunlight, you've got some sunlight on you, but you're not hot. So I think one of the big selling points is that feature. I hadn't seen these demonstrated before, but they're magnetically latching sun visors, and the one on the passenger side has a built-in mirror. I guess this one does too. There we go. So one complaint was no makeup mirror, so now there's a lighted makeup mirror as well. So that's it. Differences between the Model S and the Model X. Hope this has been helpful for you to make a decision as to which of the Teslas you'd be interested in.